Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Thank you very much. We're happy to present a new show to you, Speak of Africa. We thank you very much. Before we start the show of today, we'll have to take you through our house chores. Then next we'll present news briefs. But our topic of today is the fall of the house of Paul Biya. Of course, on this show, we've been talking about Paul Biya a lot as the next African strongman who's going to fall from power. So we're going to start first with our house chores. We're going to start by thanking all the activists who have been helping us to deliver this message far and wide. We thank especially Mr. Humphrey Nguti. He has been sharing a whole lot of information with us. He gathers this information on the ground. In fact, his videos show the activities of Paul Biya's thugs. You see the way they break into homes in Bamenda, in the Northwest Province. They steal people's cars, they steal people's properties, they break into shops and do terrible things. When we tell you these things, sometimes it sounds as if it's propaganda. But with some of these videos, we want you to know that this is not propaganda. Sometimes YouTube will complain that this stuff is shocking. We're tired of listening to such pleas. What we're trying to do is to bring you the news that is happening in this part of the world. So we have these videos, and we thank Mr. Humphrey Nguti, especially because he's one of those guys who has been risking his life to bring us this information so we can share with you. You look at the recent video, it shows you soldiers moving around neighborhoods looking for people to kill in broad daylight. In the civilized world, how can this be happening? Okay, so this is not good. So we are thanking activists such as Mr. Humphrey Nguti, who are sharing this information with us so that we can bring it to you. We thank him very much, and we thank others who are doing the same thing. We will not name them yet, but we thank them also. Then we'll also thank our viewers and our friends on Facebook. So far, we think the task we set for ourselves on Facebook, we've achieved the objective. We've had a lot of people following us who are our friends on Facebook, so we've achieved that objective. So we thank you very much. The credit goes to you. In just a few months, we've been able to have almost 5,000 friends on Facebook. We did this because of the effort of people like you. We've been telling you to befriend us and tell your friends to befriend us, so you made this happen. So I would say the credit goes to you, not to us. Because as we said before, this is your show. We wanted you to have a voice so that whatever you think can be out there. There's no liberation that can take place in Africa without people power. And this is what we've been telling you. We've said many times that people of our own generation have failed Africa. So it is up to the youth of Africa to rise, use people power en masse to topple these dictators. And this is the goal of this show. And it's happening every month. We see another dictator who falls. Thanks to your effort. Now we are really done with Facebook, okay? So we want you to set your sights on YouTube. That's the next social medium we want to concentrate on. It may look like the climb of Mount Everest, okay? It's a very high peak, but we're going to scale this peak. We're going to climb Mount Everest, okay? We want that by the end of the year, we should have at least 300,000 subscribers on YouTube. So let's set that goal. And I know with your help, we can make it happen. We're going to do our part, so we want you to do your part. We want to make sure that by December 31st, 2019, we'll have over 300,000 subscribers on YouTube. So we want to break YouTube, and we want to get all the viewers on YouTube. So we want you to start working hard so that this can happen. We're working behind the scenes. We're doing a lot of things. We're going to be sharing with you, and we're asking you to also share with us so that this can happen. So our next target now is YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. So let's break YouTube, get all these people on YouTube so that we can really make noise and take our message to YouTube so that YouTube will not be able to escape the bang. So let's hit YouTube with a big bang. So I'm telling you, please do it. We're ready. Let's go, guys, because YouTube is our next target. We want to have a whole lot of subscribers and views on YouTube. So that's the next medium. We've succeeded now with Facebook. So our plan now is to move to YouTube and take over YouTube, okay? So we want to have a lot of viewers on YouTube, okay? We're going to make it happen. So we told you that's our next target. So, news brief. Today, we're going to take you to a few places. Let's start with Nigeria, which is our favorite country. Nigeria is a very big country in Africa, so we always like you to know what is happening there. And of course, most of our friends are Nigerians, and we have families in Nigeria, so we like to cover Nigeria. Today, we'd like to let you know that Mr. Buhari took a leave of absence from the country, and already there was so much commotion in Nigeria. People were asking, why do you have to leave your country for such a long time? Well, please, this man is old. Mr. Buhari is like a used car. If you've ever used a used car, it breaks all the time, so sometimes it needs some fixing. It doesn't only need tune-up or oil change. It needs more than that. So please, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let the guy take care of himself. He's just a human being. He's not even a machine. So I know you guys have been telling people that this guy has been cloned, but please, let him go and take care of his health, and maybe he may want to see his doctors. It's okay. We also see our own doctors, so why should we not let Mr. Buhari have time to do some medical checkup, make sure that everything is going well with his body? So please, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. When I see most of the journalists in Nigeria complaining, then people in Mr. Buhari's party, they're trying to support him and say, well, he can run Nigeria from any part of the world. So, but we just hope Mr. Buhari should not become like Mr. Paul Biya in Cameroon, who leaves his country for 3 months before he comes back. The man is always missing in action. So we do not want Mr. Buhari to become missing in action like Mr. Paul Biya, who leaves his country, then escape and stay in Switzerland in a Hotel Intercontinental for months. His people will be there, nobody will know where he is, but he's hiding in a hotel, then running the country from the hotel. So, but as this is happening, it looks like Mr. Buhari did not plan. Immediately he left, Boko Haram started hitting again. So we don't really know what's really happening with this individual. People voted him into power thinking that the scourge of Boko Haram is going to die down. He himself was already bragging, telling Nigerians that, okay, Boko Haram is dying and they are not effective anymore. This is the kick of a dying horse. That's not true. Boko Haram has shown that they are back in style. You look at near Maiduguri in Borno State. The last few days, they staged a big attack. Okay? Boko Haram is back, big style. They staged a big attack and a lot of people died. In fact, they overran a military base and they took away so many sophisticated weapons. The soldiers could not really contain them. They were able to outmaneuver and outpower all those soldiers, so they took a lot of weapons away. So when we saw this, we just said, wow, I wish intelligent people can start running Africa again. The African nation is suffering because we have dull people, coconut heads, like Buhari, running the country. Because if we had good people running the country, we should have known that war is not the answer to a crisis like Boko Haram. A group like Boko Haram needs to be negotiated with in a brotherly fashion so that they can lay down their weapons. But you cannot fight them as if you're fighting a traditional army. These guys strike and run, they hit and run, so you cannot really get them. So we don't really know why our leaders cannot really understand that you cannot solve this problem with power. No, the pen is mightier than the sword, okay? He who lives by the sword dies by the sword. So that's why our people are dying a whole lot, because these guys who are at the top believe so much in militarization. But as a strategy, militarization is going to fail. And we're seeing this with the Boko Haram menace. We've said it so many times on our show that the best way to fight Boko Haram is not using the military. We need to sit down with these guys. These guys are our brothers and sisters. Let's talk to them. What do they want? So we can reach an accommodation level with them. But for some reason, our leaders listen to foreign powers who tell them, oh, here are arms, take them, go and kill those people. Killing them is not going to solve the problem. It makes the problem worse. Since the death of Muhammad, the original founder of Boko Haram, the problem with Boko Haram has become worse. One individual was killed, but today, people are revenging in our midst. Is this a good thing? We don't think so. So we're telling Mr. Buhari, wherever you are, think. Your strategy is not working. If you are sleeping, wake up. This strategy is not working. It has not worked and it will not work. So if your advisors are not giving you good advice, watch this show and listen to what we're saying. If you need us, we can give you a blueprint on how to solve the Boko Haram crisis. We'll write it for you for free. We will not charge you a penny because we love Nigeria. We're going to do this as a way to show our love for the Nigerian nation, which is part of the African nation. Okay? We'll give you a blueprint on how to solve the Boko Haram problem in 6 months. This problem that has been intractable and you don't know what to do about it, we're going to show you how to solve this problem in just 6 months. Okay? You don't need a lot of military, just with a pen. We're going to just use the pen to show you how to solve this problem. The pen is mightier than the sword. That's what you need to take away from this show, Mr. Buhari. Okay? If you can get that message, we'll be very happy you got our message. Then we'll go to Sudan.
So I can get my taxes done. You know I'm trying to buy a new house. What's up?
Let's get it on. If you're searching for a house, call up my man Prince Ojong, the best in real estate. Take it from your guy's shape. When I say his services are the best in the states, word is born. He even take care of your tax forms, fat refunds. So come, get your business done. Consultations, financial organization, fast processing. No waiting, this man is amazing. The Prince.
Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131.
Then we go to Sudan. We can see that the revolution is working. The women have joined the revolution, and we can see images of women standing on top of trucks and vehicles to show the women power. And they have forced the military now to come to terms with the people. Originally, the military wanted to be in charge of things, but the people said, no, this is a people revolution. We have to be in charge of this movement. And Bashir Omar has dropped down and he has gone quietly into the sunset. We're happy about this. A few days ago, some news came out that it looks like Nangagwa, the new president of Zimbabwe, has sent a plane to pick up Omar Bashir so that he should go into exile in Zimbabwe. We've been trying to get some information on this, but we've not been able to verify this information. So just hold on. We're going to let you know if there's any development in that arena, and we'll inform you. So we'll be able to find out where Omar Bashir is. If he has left the country, we'll tell you. So this is something that you need to know. Then finally now, we need to really land in Cameroon. Cameroon is the next Sodom and Gomorrah. For those who know the Bible, God decided to punish the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah because of their sins, grave sins. They were the sins of inhospitality. They did not welcome God's message in these twin cities, so God wanted to punish them. So God decided to destroy these cities. It's the same thing that is happening with Paul Biya's Cameroon. God is not happy with this country. We've been praying, and when we pray, God listens to our prayers. So we're not just ordinary Christians who don't know how to pray. We are mystics. We are natural mystics. We know how to pray. We know how to pray in a way in which God listens. And God listens to our prayers. We've been praying for long so that God should descend to this country. And that's exactly what is happening. God is returning to this country. First, the country needs cleansing. For so long, for so many years, Mr. Paul Biya has just corrupted the whole country. He has brought a lot of thesis to destroy this country. A country that was peaceful and calm has now been turned into a squalor. Everything is just going down. So this video, we're going to show you the fall of the house of Biya. Why is the house of Biya falling? Some of you may ask. Well, there are many reasons why the house of Biya is falling. When you look what is happening today in Cameroon, there's chaos everywhere. The way our guy fella used to say, confusion, nawa. In Cameroon now, there's confusion everywhere. We predicted this many, many months ago. Some people were saying that, oh no, the confusion is going to be only in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. But we said, no, it's going to spill all over the whole country. In fact, in Obala, very, very close to the presidential palace of Cameroon, Etudi, people from the north who are like Muslims and some of the Beti guys were fighting. It took many soldiers from the presidential palace to come and stop the fight, which really resulted in a lot of deaths. So if you watch, you'll see that there's confusion is everywhere. Douala, there's confusion. So right now, there is a lot of confusion in this whole nation. And why is this happening? Because the house that Biya built is crumbling. It's crumbling, it's crumbling, and you can see it for yourself. Why is this house crumbling? There are many reasons, and we want to share them with you. We've never really taken time, but if those who think this house is not falling, then they must be smoking something. We were telling you to wake up because the house of Biya is falling apart. It's collapsing, okay? Things fall apart. This house is falling apart, it's crumbling. Why is this house falling apart? The first reason is the Ambazonia Revolution. For many months, we've been chronicling the Ambazonia Revolution, okay? We've told you that because of marginalization, the English-speaking people of the Northwest and Southwest regions were unhappy with the Biya regime. When they tried to protest, Mr. Biya sent his thugs, they call them B, Bataillon d'Intervention Rapide, to start killing innocent civilians. Because of this, the people decided to avenge the deaths of their relatives. They started using den guns to fight back. Initially, Mr. Biya thought he could beat these guys in a few days and they will drop their weapons. But it's been almost 3 years now. The fighting is raging on. What started as a peaceful protest has morphed into a civil war. Initially, the world did not want to pay attention to this, but we made an effort. We assembled most of the bloggers and most of the citizen activists to start sharing the information on social media. Initially, people thought we are small, nobody will hear us. But when you look at what is happening today, everybody is hearing us. Our voice is very, very loud. We are taking your own voice and amplifying it so that everybody can really hear what is happening in Cameroon. So nobody can say they don't know what is happening in Cameroon today. We give thanks to all the activists who have been drumming the noise. Boom, 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 boom. There's trouble in Cameroon. Boom, 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 boom. There's problem in Cameroon. So everybody now knows that there's trouble in Biya land. Okay? So now, there's no way you can put the genie back into the bottle. The Anglophones are out, and there's not much Mr. Biya can do about it. In fact, these are the same Anglophones who have been driving forces to really take down this diabolical regime. So this is the number one reason why the Biya edifice is collapsing. Something that has been together for more than 37 years. He thought it was invisible, but the people are showing Mr. Biya that he's not invisible. They are breaking him down. He's going to fall into pieces. And that's what is happening with the Ambazonia Revolution. Next, what is another cause of the Biya house collapse? The second cause is Professor Maurice Kamto. One of the lessons we learned in the School of War is you never underestimate your opponents. But the mistake that Mr. Biya and his colleagues have been making is that they tend to underestimate their opponents. They believe so much in the use of military force to the point that they think they can use military force to crush any rival. But this has turned out to be an albatross on Mr. Biya's neck. Mr. Kamto has distinguished himself as a professor of law and is a professor of international repute. He ran for president knowing fully well the kind of regime he was dealing with because he was part of that regime. He worked for that regime. He served that regime. So he knew the weaknesses of that regime. But he was really taken aback when he discovered the lawlessness that is part of this regime. The way this regime breaks international law, corrupts citizens, kills citizens. So when he ran for president, he thought, well, Mr. Biya would do the right thing and allow him to take over the country. To his disbelief, Mr. Biya engineered the biggest massive fraud of election rigging. And he made sure that the victory of Maurice Kamto was never declared. So Mr. Maurice Kamto now started protesting, and he reacted by putting Mr. Maurice Kamto in jail. In jail, Mr. Maurice Kamto now has even become more powerful. So as a prisoner, he has instead put in prison Mr. Paul Biya. Mr. Paul Biya was thinking that by putting Mr. Maurice Kamto in jail, he would silence him. But in jail, this guy has proven to be more powerful.
Life insurance money secrets of millionaires and billionaires exposed. Discover how America's rich and famous exploit these arcane tools to build fabulous wealth. Why should these big white guys have all the fun? Let Prince Ojong, the celebrity author of The Miraculous Millionaire, show you the little understood life insurance way to riches. Are you still doubting the good things that life insurance can do for you? Trust strategies, estate planning, 401k rollover, annuity contract, cash value, education funding, executive benefits, income protection, life protection, living benefits, mortgage protection, tax-free retirement? Think and grow rich with life insurance. Your amazing journey to wealth begins by calling Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131.
Mr. Maurice Kamto even went to the African Union, which is the third cause of the fall of the House of Biya. The African Union has tried to initiate some kind of rapprochement between the Maurice Kamto camp and the Biya camp. But Mr. Biya has been intransigent. He doesn't listen to the voice of reason. It looks like this individual is really senile. When you talk peace, he doesn't like to talk peace. He believes only in guns, gun, boom, 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 kill people, kill people. That's what he believes in. So interestingly, this is backfiring. The African Union was really disappointed that all the initiatives they presented to Mr. Biya were rebuffed. When these initiatives were rebuffed, the African Union was now forced to take its case to the Americans. Now the Americans now decided to let Mr. Biya know that, okay, if you're not going to listen to the voice of reason, then we're going to start chopping the blocks of your security. We're not going to be giving you all these weapons we're giving you in the past. We're not going to be giving you military support the way we're giving you military support in the past. We're going to withdraw our military aid so we can teach you a lesson. But Mr. Biya is just digging in. So he refused even to listen to the Americans. The last few weeks, the European Union now set in. What is really happening is these guys are using an iron curtain to use to wrap around the conference of Cameroon so that they would contain Mr. Biya. Those who are with Mr. Biya should really know that the international community is ready to finish them off. They may think that nothing is happening, but a lot is happening. Okay? Now with the European Union, they met and they decided that, well, this individual has to go because he's been killing a lot of people. Every day they are seeing pictures of Cameroonians protesting, Biya forces killing Cameroonians. So they have had enough. So now they are telling Mr. Biya that, no, you sign an accord with us, especially what they call the ACP Cotonou Agreement. Some of you may not really know what this agreement is about. This agreement is for African, Caribbean, Pacific countries with the European Union. It's a union that was made so that it can encourage trade and good governance in the world. But when they see that you are not only following the rules enunciated in this agreement, they have to call you to task. And that's what the European Union did in the case of Cameroon. Unfortunately, Mr. Biya's lackeys, such as René Sadi, the current Minister of Communication, he came out and made himself look stupid. You will not really believe that some of these people who have really studied abroad, who know the world, behave like illiterates. Mr. René Sadi was instead making funny comments against the EU. And the members of the EU were really taken aback. They could not believe that a minister of a country, which is a signatory to the ACP Cotonou Agreement, could be talking like this against them. It was like he's thumping his nose in their faces. So they were really angry with the action of this individual? It seems probably Mr. Rene Sadi was doing this because of instructions he had received from his master, Paul Biya. But this did not go well in the international community. 3 of Mr. Biya's lovers in the French parliament, they tried to come to the support of Mr. Biya, but the opposition was just so strong. So they just tore these 3 individuals apart. So the European Union was just tired of this individual. So the way we see things happening, Mr. Biya is almost on the final leg of his presidency. What is going to happen now is the EU would turn over the Cameroon file to the UN Security Council. This is what happened in the case of Gaddafi. When you defy the international community, there are consequences. And this is a lesson the Biya regime is going to learn pretty soon. The Cameroon case is going to be referred to the UN Security Council. And what we'll see, Cameroon is not really a big country. It's very, very easy for the UN to send forces to depose Mr. Biya because his days are really numbered. From what we see, we understand the working of the international community. For so long, a lot of Cameroonians are thinking that nothing is really going to happen to Mr. Biya. It's because of their naivete. They don't really understand the way the international community works. We do. From what we can see, as we see it, Mr. Biya is going to be toppled by the international community in the next few months. If he decides not to listen to the dictates of the international community, because the EU came up with 4 main proposals to Mr. Biya. So if you don't know this, let us tell you what the proposals are. The 4 main proposals are: 1, a solution to the Anglophone problem. The EU has already realized that Mr. Biya is not capable of addressing this problem. So it looks like they may just need a new individual like President Maurice Kamto to come in and resolve the problem with Anglophones. Making noise about the state of the nation, the country being indivisible, is just nonsense. And they are tired of listening to this Biya propaganda, and they want somebody who can take action. So it looks like Mr. Biya may not be able to comply with this main idea of peace with Anglophones. The second point emphasized in the EU proposal is freedom marches. The Cameroon Constitution allows citizens the power to protest and march freely. Why is Mr. Biya not allowing the citizens of Cameroon to exercise this constitutional right? That's the question the EU has been asking, and this issue needs to be addressed. Third, the issue is the electoral code. The EU wants Mr. Biya to change the electoral code of Cameroon so that it can become consensual and fair. The EU thinks that the present electoral code in Cameroon favors Mr. Biya's CPDM party. So it doesn't favor the other candidates. So it needs to be changed dramatically. It needs to be rewritten. Can Mr. Biya deliver on this? We think no, he cannot. Because he cannot be a magistrate in a case involving him. And he's going to fail woefully. Then the next task is Mr. Maurice Kamto needs to be released unconditionally, immediately. It's possible for Mr. Biya, if he has goodwill, to meet this particular condition. But because of the strong men who are behind him, he may not want to appear weak. So he wants Mr. Kamto to stay in prison. And this is where the problem with the EU is going to fester like a wound that gets bigger and bigger. So when we look at this, we just think that Mr. Paul Biya is cornered. He will not be able to extricate himself this time. This guy has always been looked upon like a chameleon. He can always change his stripes and get away, get himself out of danger. But this time is the end. He cannot. He's been cornered. So already, when you look at what is happening in the presidency, there's so much chaos in the presidency, so much confusion. Most of the military plans that they have are leaked by people inside the presidency. So the average Cameroonian now is knowing what is happening. Things that used to be secrets in the presidency are now in the open. It's just the way God punishes people. So God has decided now to descend to Cameroon. Cameroon now is the next Sodom and Gomorrah. So when you watch this show, just know that this dictator's time is almost at hand. Okay? The time for him to go is almost at hand. He's not going to survive this. People have always thought that, oh, this guy will survive it. He will brag and come and say, yes, 20 more years. No. This is the end. The fall of the house of Biya is here. We thank you very much for watching this show, and we're asking you to share this show with your friends. Our goal for 2019 is to have more views on YouTube. And we think that with your assistance, we can achieve this goal. And we're telling you to subscribe, encourage your friends to subscribe, drag them, tell them about the show, tell them about the benefits we bring for the average viewer. We're going to be making it easy for most of you who are in America to buy houses and invest. Mr. Biya has destroyed your houses in the Northwest and Southwest provinces. A lot of houses you spend a lot of money to build. Mr. Biya soldiers have burned those houses. But we can offer you nicer houses in America, beautiful houses. Real estate is our main business. So we'll be able to make it easy for you to buy houses. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.
Sengi pom yangi meseni mawe na brampona mabobe antolo wante we barato Mapula na tomoto tomori Alangweti mbami miendi mongondolo Bamene monde na binito langori Na obodi nomba ndolo Wande weye barantolo Na maleye wantolo Wapumaleye mamoi
Ça chauffe ici Ça chauffe là-bas Ça chauffe ici Ça chauffe là-bas Ça chauffe ici Ça chauffe là-bas Ça chauffe ici Ça chauffe là-bas
Lomeya wadineta Abenyongi na wolangemo Panti windoro Panti winyame Namasinga pomwendi Pamabuli ya son ma Tolonge longo di benti wa bubi Pare mente be Wanti wimbai Nasingi wakandolo Wini bamule mamwami Wini bamulu hela Wandi mbana budino iwa wena mosinga wube Wandi wimbano lumbana Nasingi pona wandi wimule mamame Tombo to tomati tipone Nanu matope mambo mabube Wame monde wimbando Nasingi pona batu bali ela ninde mana Ote beso de bito mbana Nasingi pona binyo beso lumawe Nana ome yambana Wulu nelumbana Singi na tuwembana linge nembana Eselemba, 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 eselemba Nasingi pona binyo beso lumumba Nemona singi ya semba Na bube gamina Na mene de pona langwe ya binyona Na mene pona lo langwe ya bina Na mene pona lo langwe ya binyona Na mundi mana baina na wayeno Amu singa na moy Amu singa, amu singa, amu singa Bube gamina de bese bani bainde Matindi de